Well, welcome everybody to week number 6 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League season number 2. And this week we present a spoiler key sanity. We bring you the second match between Hime and Noble Fox of Adirondack Rick, being joined by Lin. What is going on?
Hey Rick, I'm doing great and I'm really looking forward to this week. That's the new mod we got for League this season, and it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I've been practicing that one, so playing it is a lot of fun, and watching it should be fun as well.
So let's go ahead and talk about this because this is going to be the second match of the week. We didn't get a chance to broadcast the first one here on Speed Gaming, so a lot of you are getting familiar with what's going to be going on this week. These runners, Noble the Foreign and Kermit, they will be running a key sanity seed, but they're going to have a voice in their ears.
Yeah, their co-pilot, their pilot is gonna have the spoiler log, and they're gonna have to tell them where to go in order to get all the required items to finish the seed.
So we are off and running. So right at the very go is when the pilot is going to be getting a hold of the spoiler. So the first few moments of the seed is going to be a runner pretty much just trying to do what they can to get towards Kakariko Village, maybe go to the uncle, whatever the case might be, while the pilot is studying that seed and trying to figure out where these runners need to go. First of all, we do see Kermit trying to do the hula hand strats. Maybe his pilot has noticed something to be over at Zora.
It's a different approach from both teams. Noble Foxes are just farming resources, like bombs mainly, because that's gonna be your primary weapons until you get the first sword. I mean, they probably know where that is. And Kermit is not looking at the spoiler log, just probably getting some money in order to go to CAC, maybe for the bottle vendor, maybe for Zora, as you said, or just to buy bombs on the way.
So as we go throughout this, as you notice, the runners, they're not checking what would be the normal checks, heading into the library, seeing what's up on there, seeing what's in the race game, because they already know what it is. They don't need to show us what it is. As Noble is going to be heading into the tavern, we get ourselves the first key. This is the first of the Palace of Darkness keys.
Palace of Darkness, 6 keys total. You don't need them all to full the dungeon, but you need at least one to get to Helmazar King, but you probably want a second one for routing purposes, like not having to go through the Bolok side. And that's the other second small key here, very important for Turtle Rock, because you need 3 of them in order to clear Turtle Rock out of 4.
And maybe even 4, depending on what is on the lava chest.
So since our players are not going to do a map check because they know the pennant and crystal layout already, I can tell you, those are the boots in. Okay, I can see why they wanted bombs.
Also, we're not going to be getting a map check. Also, because you got to remember, this is a key sanity, and as a result, we don't know until we pick up the maps. But more often than not, you're not going to see these runners pick up the maps because they are being told by their pilots where everything is.
So our pendant layout for this seed is Green Pendant Desert Palace, and the other 2 pendants are Eastern and Teastown. 5, 6 crystal are Pod and Swamp Palace. That's a lot of stuff in CAC. Already all the mobility needed for that seed, like flute, boots, and also the Moon Pearl. I can get why you wanted to go there first.
Nobly heading. He's going to be picking up the bombs to purchase at this point. And that does it for Nobly inside of the village here. So there must not be anything of importance inside of the library.
Probably not. Like at this point, you're basically looking for your Dark Olex or a good weapon, I would say.
I do want to say a good point by chat. Kermit's activating his flute. That's something that Nobly did not do in his first trip through.
Kind of surprising that they're not going back as well, because like flute adds a lot of mobility for Link to the Past. And taking it there to that mini Moldon cave.
Yeah, this is going to be an unfortunate death for Nobly. This is going to probably set him back. And here's the thing. You might be seeing races determined more by execution in this week than you would in any other week.
Definitely, especially when like you're also gonna be very low on safeties. You're probably getting everything that's on your way, but you're not going out of your way to grab those safeties because that's a big time loss. So the key that was in the Lostwood hideouts was the key to Tower, the big key to Tower Terra. You know that Parapod is a thing, so if there's something in the big chest, like you might need that one, but if there's nothing in the big chest, you can just Parapod in order to kill Moldorm. But that's the first safety of the game that Kermit kind of went, I won't say out of his way to get it, but still a little bit. Like blue mail is always nice when you're always low on hearts in those modes.
But you also see what he did, Lyndon, then?
He's setting up a water walk.
Yeah, he's going to set up the water dashing here because that would give him a perfect good reason to check. Grab that. That's there. And things just happened.
Oh, now I see a good reason for that water walk. That's a very good fight. The hammer on Hobo. Apparently nothing in the Zora area since they decided out of going there in the waterfall and saved and quit it instead.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's a couple of things of special note at this point, as we see Nobly trying to set up a water dash himself. You see him checking certain chests here that don't have the items that he needs, which could be a communication issue with his pilot.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to check, like, every chest you open is a few seconds, but if you add all those seconds in total, that's just gonna cost you a lot of time in the long run. So Kermit now also hitting Mini Moron Cave. You know, there was the big Kitamaya. I think there was also a tier small in here. Much required tier small.
Yeah, Nobly's about to pick up the hammer.
So interesting fact is that that hammer right now is out of logic. We still don't know where the flippers are. It could still logically be a Naga seed, but we'll see where the gloves are.
Oh, Nobly taking another death.
Death Mountain really not friendly here, especially low on hearts, only 5. I mean, even with blue mail, it wouldn't change anything because those cabbages like to call them do 100 damage regardless of the mail.
Yes, you know, unfortunately, it's these kind of deaths that are going to add up, and like I said, this is going to be a case where you may want to start considering practicing low combat because maybe the swords that you really want are going to be far out of the way.
So nobody didn't grab the big key to Hera. Not gonna be able to kill Moldorm here. Gonna be able to check those 2 first chests though.
Get ourselves the glove down here in the Tower of Hera. We also got the big key to Desert Palace right on top of the Spectacle Rock. Now, you mentioned about that key thing. There's the Hera Papa. We cannot do the Hera Pop right now without the hook shot.
I'm guessing there's something up there in Hera since they grabbed the key and they're planning on going there, but I'm not sure why Nobly and his partner didn't grab it. So we have a Dark Access now with the Pearl Wooden Cack and Glove and Hammer. Oh, the lamp is also here in Specrock. Sword, that's a very nice find, especially with those being able to dash all around the place. Always nice.
Oh, nice place for the key to Hyrule Castle V right there. We got another Palace of Darkness small key as well as the bow.
Yeah, always a nice place, but apparently there's nothing in the Dark Cross because they're not going. But still, like, opening that chest, like we said, in the long run, is gonna cost them a lot of time.
Now, we do have the Moon Pearl, so we can get into Palace of Darkness if we need to do anything else in there at this point. Obviously, we can't beat it. Seems like Nobly is prioritizing getting into this dark world.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's in Parax. That's the usual play when you go there in Hera and you have the mirror and the hammer, but both of our players decided to skip it. Just for information, the fire rod was on Moldorm. So they cannot beat Pod because they're still missing the big key of Pod, and that's why they cannot clear it right now. Not sure where that is, but
well, we do know where Nobly's first sword is. It's in Hype Cave. Plus, we also get to see one of the Skull Smalls, which isn't necessarily something you need to see at this point. So, Nobly heading back to the village. Looks like he's going to be heading to the village of Outcasts now.
So, Skullwood's keys are nice, especially with V31 change that the paintball room doesn't have a guaranteed small key anymore. Kind of want to grab those if there's anything in Skullwood, because if you drop in Skullwood and you don't have a small key, you're kind of locked in and you have to save and quit. They're very good for routing. Like Skullwood small, Ice Palace small, and Mire small are very good for routing in Christianity, because you don't have to do stuff like the vanilla way, I would say, where you have to grab the key from the pot, or in Mire, for example, or hit the switch in Ice Palace if you're gonna go for Icebreaker. So there is the big hit pot. Now they can clear pot. But the problem is, will they need another key for pod? Is there anything in the back of pod that will require them to grab another small key? You can get to Helmut King with one, or sometimes two.
Ooh, there's our swamp small key right there inside of Thieves Town.
Very hard required. Wait. Yeah, you need that one because you need to open that first door in Swamp Palace, so it's very required. That's probably one of the small key that has a lot of value in that mode. So I'm guessing, yeah, there's probably nothing in the back of pod, or else they would need an extra small key, and since they're heading there right now. Oh,
another death here for Nobly. That's 4 deaths for him right now.
So Kermit actually grabbed the third key to pod. Oh, Nobly also grabbed it. I didn't see it. So yeah, they have 3 keys. So I'm guessing there's something in the back. They go. I'm not gonna say out of their way, but they're going to grab them.
With these deaths that Nobly's taking, it might be worth him making a trip on over to the Ice Rod Cave to get that blue mail.
Yeah.
But I realize he wants to try to prioritize getting certain things done here in the overworld.
So Kermit actually made a small detour to grab a bottle. Like, in that mode, you're gonna be very low on hearts and safeties, so everything.
Yeah,
you might want to grab that.
Here's how some runners are going to probably strategize this week. They may go out of their way if it's going to be a few seconds to get an item, but they're not going to go super far out of their way. Like what you saw from BBB Kermit to get that blue mail might be the most extensive going out of the way you're going to see a runner go in a race this week. It all depends on their comfort levels and whether or not they feel like they have that time to give. Now, that was smart thinking right there for Nobly, remembering that there's a bonk tree right there that gives you a fairy.
So Kermit with the power rod that they got from Moldorm, heading straight to Modula. Having that Master Sword helps a lot, and Hammer, Blue Mail, not gonna be that big of a deal. And they're in the area anyway, so like in that mode, routing is really, really key. I mean, execution is a lot, but routing efficiently is also gonna save you a lot of time. And grabbing that powder, I'm not sure if there's anything on Magic Bat, but having a powder as a safety is always good.
So here we go through the Palace of Darkness. And Nobly immediately heading on over towards the bow side. One other thing that we saw last week in the Cross Keys week. decisions with your key spending in some of these dungeons are really going to be heightened up in this key sanity week. As we find the hook shot down in Skull Woods, and Nobly finds a small Ganon's tower over here on the right-hand side.
Not hard required unless there's something in Ganon's tower basement, when the only thing that can be there is the GTB key. There was actually nothing of note in that bottle side of time. I mean, Burn Eyes, if there's anything in Spike Cave.
That's a very good question, which we'll have to find out at a later time, as we do find the flippers, which puts that hammer in logic.
I think it was a required, I guess, that they kinda avoided by water walking to hope.
Oh yeah, that water dash is saving them a required trip to Aghanim.
I mean, depending on where the myths are, but I'm guessing that they are not in the light world.
BBB Kermit taking it dead to the Mothula. 5 Hearts Fighter's Sword is not an easy Mothula fight.
It's gonna be even harder right now because they don't have a lot of magic to actually lit the torches.
The Titans.
They are the Titan myths. Yes.
Yeah. And Nobly. As the Palace of Darkness big key, so now heading right straight to Helmassar. So I get why BBB Kermit made this move here, going into here, because of the hookshot. It does unlock plenty of things, especially with regards to Death Mountain.
We have Swamp Palace open as well, since we got that small kill swamp in Tifa. And now with the flippers, we can clear swamp.
All right, BBB Kermit here facing off against the Mothula, round number 2. As Kermit maintaining his health. And this is probably the toughest thing to do, is to maintain your health throughout this entire fight.
I mean, the hardest part of this fight is not the boss itself, it's the room.
And Mothula is down. Kermit gets the reward. 10 arrows, but more importantly, the first crystal of this key sanity match between these two teams.
Second, because they already killed Moldorm for the fire rod.
Did I say Moldorm?
No, Mothula is dead, but the first one was Moldorm, and that dropped the fire rod in Dark.
Crystal number 2, then.
Yeah, crystal number 2.
See, I can't count. That's my problem. I can't count. 1? What comes after 1?
Good question. And Kermit making already use of these potions. They also have a lot of money to spend, so might as well buy some potions. Not gonna be surprised if they head towards Pog to get the myths, the flippers, and kill Hello the King.
Mage C. This is where things are gonna get interesting, because if Kermit opts to go and do the right-hand side, then we have more reasons to believe that there's going to be something in Spike Cave. I do want to point out that commentary does have the option. Ooh, Nobly's gonna have to be careful here. Down to 2 hearts, so any kind of attack at this point is going to kill him. And you can see him trying to stay a little careful here. Oh, get out of the way! No!
That was close.
It was close. Just the tail would have gotten him. The fireball, I don't know if that was gonna get him or not, but oof, that tail. That's that's a tough death to take. 6 hearts is a very small amount, especially when you're fighting him with a fighter sword.
They also got that burn, just in case. They could have used in order to stay safe.
Somebody recommending in chat that he could have used the burner until things cooled down. The problem is that the fighter sword does no damage to Helmasaur, if I remember correctly. You need the Master Sword in order to do some damage on him. And you cannot sword swing or sword spin with the Cane of Burner active.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons they didn't use it. But still, can stay safe from Helm of the King's attack. Kermit not going through the Bullock side, guessing they're not interested in that Kenneth Burner.
Yeah, so it's just telling me that the pickup of the Cane of Burner is more of a safety here for Nobly than it is of something being in Spike Cave.
Could it be that GT big key is in GT as well, and you need those GT small keys in order to get it?
If that's the case, he would wind up getting the Cane of Burner anyway, because it's not that far out of the way. Here we go, fight number 2. Already takes 1 hit by a fireball. And like I said, 3 hits and that's a death. Oh, now we gotta be careful now. Switches over to the bow. This is where 8 hits, gotta get him now. Oh, it's gonna switch over to the Cane of Burner. Whoa!
That was clutch. That was clutch.
That was clutch. That was close.
Very, very close.
Out of arrows. Get him!
Okay, got the line.
Oh!
That was very, very
clutch.
So those kind of finds are those you gonna see in that mode, because like you're gonna be very low on safeties if they're not on your. Kermit's probably gonna have an easier fight with Master Sword and Blue Mage. Now Helm of the King only deals 1 heart of damage to them.
And Kermit survives with his fight as well, as Nobly heading over.
I'm guessing Pyramid or Catfish from here. I'm not sure what's there, but
It is a Catfish check now. So Catfish has something that we need. What is it? Well, these runners know. In week number 6 of the league, it is a spoiler key Sanity. As we pointed out, the open to this match, these runners get a look at the spoiler log. Not the runners, but the pilots for these runners will get a copy of the spoiler log, and then in a voice call, they will help guide their teammate, hopefully, to victory here in week number 6.
Just a note from like the spoiler tournament that happened a few months ago. In the spoiler tournament, you have 15 minutes, I believe, to prepare to run. In this mode, they don't have any time to prepare. Like as the race is started.
Nice find right there. We get the Cane of Samaria. But yeah, it's right at the word go when the pilot gets that spoiler log. At that stage, it's up to how you're going to route it. Try to get your runner to know where everything that they need is, and there's a lot of things that definitely need to be remembered as you go throughout this entire scene. Because where are the keys? Where are the items? Where should you go first? Where should you go next? if you're a pilot for this, like the first 40 or 45 minutes of this is the insanity type. Like the first 15 minutes is definitely the most insane, and then it starts dropping off, but you're still trying to figure out a runner's moves until they get into go mode. As we get to see the peg cave coming up here for Nobly, and we find inside it is the Quake Medallion, which we must need for one of our dungeons, whether it be Mire or Turtle Rock.
You also, like, even if you know where the items are, you really want to be as efficient as possible. Avoid any double dips. Thief's Town was a pendant, and the big key of Pod was in Thief's Town, so they know they won't have to go back to Thief's Town. So, like, yeah, just grab it before going to Pod, because you don't want to come back to Pod.
Bear in mind one other thing about this, and that is the fact that this seed, by logic, wanted a double dip of the Palace of Darkness. Knowing that the hammer was on Hobo, they were able to make it a single trip into the Palace of Darkness.
So Nobly now has their big key, and no, they don't have the hookshot, because the hookshot was skull. They're gonna be able to kill Moldor. That was actually nice trotting from Hime in general, because not being able to help out here because of the fire rod, the hookshot being locked by the fire rod. Noble Foxes took a different approach into that, getting the fire rod now. They might be able to open TR. I'm not sure what the medallion is.
Yeah, there's some speculation going on right at this point that the Quake is going to be required to get into Turtle Rock, which we will find out when Nobly gets in that direction. Kermit going up against Argus with the Tempered Sword. Going to be a pretty solid fight here for Kermit. Just gotta be careful not to get bodied a little too much when you got 6 hearts. You don't ever realize how much Argus can hurt you until you have low amount of hearts.
Yeah, definitely. Green mail, like you usually with the high requirement for Swamp Palace, like Mirror, Hookshot, Flippers, Hammer, you kind of go there with a lot of safeties. And you don't realize how much Argus hurts, but when you're going there very early and you have green mail, you're not tanking those attacks from Argus.
Oh, Nobly taking a fall at the Moldorm fight, so coming back up here for a second attempt. Three hammer hits to Moldorm, but when he comes at you, that's the most difficult part. And Kermit is making his way over to Hookshot, or rather Checkerboard Cave, and inside we are going to see the Magic Cave. Oh, there might still be something inside a Spike Cave.
Or something on Bumper Ledge? They're really heading to August right now. I'm guessing they're gonna grab the Quake for sure. I'm not sure if Kermit's gonna go to Bumper Ledge.
Kermit is heading through the village. Looks like he's about to go pick up his Quake as well.
I'm guessing that Mire wasn't Quake, because they didn't bother entering it. So I guess that Quake is gonna be for TR.
Turtle Rock, big key over here on the right-hand side of the mountain, inside of the Paradox Cave.
Yeah, they're definitely going for TR because like you with the big key of Meyer, you can clear Meyer. Like you don't need all 3 keys. The only thing the 3 keys lock in logic are the Firelock chest, but you are able to get to Vitreous without them. You only need the big key.
Nobly having some issues here with the bomb jump.
Kermit actually heading to Bumble Edge. Small.
Okay, there is a small key up here.
I'm guessing there's gonna be a small key to TR. That like, especially with everything they cleared so far, that has to be a TR small key.
I almost want to say yes, because you, at this stage, what other small keys do we really need besides Turtle Rock keys? You don't really need any Misery Mire keys going in. You don't really need any Ice Palace keys, especially with Icebreaker. Unless there's something in Desert Palace. What key was that?
It was a TR small.
It was Quake to get into Turtle Rock.
Fortunately, Kermit took a death, so he has to run to Catfish to get the cane. With Nobly heading straight to TR, I'm guessing that there's gonna be something in TR. Still missing the Ice Rod and another key though for Nobly in order to get to Trinex.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where that next key is going to be. And Nobly remembering before he starts to light those torches that he does not have the hook shot and was probably halted by his pilot not to check those 2 chests. Now, for one of the more dangerous rooms in this game here, the Chain Chomps, there must not be anything there, as Nobly is going to run right by them. And that's probably the best thing when you only have 3 hearts. You don't have to worry about that then.
With 3 hearts, so that's very, very, like, you're taking a hit from the Hokuboku and you're dead.
You get hit by anything, you're pretty much dead in this dungeon. Pokey, the skulls. I mean, the anti-fairies do 1 heart damage. That's probably the most generous thing in the side of this dungeon at this point. Chat pointing out that Nobly's lacking 1 key in order to beat this dungeon. We'll see where he goes from here. Thankfully, he was able to get that last Pokey with that last available Fire Rod shot. You don't want to lose all your magic here because you still need something in order to create this Cane of Samaria block when you go downstairs.
I'm surprised when there's solo 1 resources that they're not taking the safety door, I would say.
Was told by his pilot, hold on, you need to get that key. Or get whatever's in there. Yeah, there's the Ice Rod.
So missing a key to kill Trinex here, that's gonna hurt them a lot.
There has
to be 1 on Laser Bridge, right?
There has to be 1 on Laser Bridge. And maybe that's why Kermit has opted not to, or maybe why Kermit opted to get the 1 on Bumper Ledge, so that way he can skip Laser Bridge.
I mean, if you have 4 keys to TR, there's also a thing you can do is that you can't keep stealing the key from the pool key since there's nothing in the big key chest. But that's only if you have all four keys to TI.
I miss seeing what was in the Paradox upper part. And I know we have a way that we can take a look. I just want to be surprised when we find this on our screen. That's kind of why I chose not to take a look at the spoiler log. Safety door here for Nobly.
That like laser escapes can be very painful to do, and since they didn't take the safety out of the big chest.
Oh, hi Ether.
I'm guessing that's what they were after, and I'm guessing that's the Maya medallion as well.
Yeah, we would have known if we had gotten a little more frame rate here in Kermit, but unfortunately it is what it is. Oh, Nobly, where are we going?
I guess there's not a tier key on
There
the
must
bridge.
not be.
So the only thing we're missing right now, or we're actually only missing GTB key.
What did... Okay, so what did we just see from... What did we just see from the bottom here in... Oh my goodness, I can't say it! Hookshot Cave, that's the word!
Since we're lacking a bit of frames, I'm gonna tell you it's the bottle with the ferry. It was safety. Trying to fit the pieces in, but not logically, but logically we still need Icefeller's big key, but nobody gets that if there's nothing in the big chest anyways, so the only thing we're missing right now is Ganon's Tower big key.
Okay. I have given into my personal feelings at this point and have taken a look to see what Nobly was trying to get inside of that bottom left Turtle Rock chest. He was going for a heart container.
I mean, especially with Grain Mail, you kind of want that.
Yeah, but unfortunately, without that fourth key, there was no way that he was going to get to Trinex. This is something that Kermit's going to be able to get to. He's going to be able to full clear this. So this is going to really give Hime the advantage because now Nobly has to double back into Turtle Rock, and this kind of mode makes a deficit like that a lot harder to come back against.
So out of curiosity, our player probably not gonna get it. I mean, Kermit's definitely not gonna get it because he's gonna clear TR here. That's a nice logic that this cheat required you to do because the last tier small key is in Misery Mire, with Ether being on Laser Bridge.
Nice couple of hammers, though, on Mothula here to begin with for Nobly. Ooh, missed with that fire rod shot, and oh, there we go. Another nice clutch fight there from noblytheforeign to complete the first portion of Skull Woods, but hopefully his pilot is reminding him to get back in there and get what's underneath the bridge.
Yeah, they're going straight for that hook shot. Gonna be able to clear Swamp. Not that there was anything relevant in Swamp, if I remember right. But at this point, they're only missing that last tier small and Canister big.
Yeah, we still need to get this tower big and whatever can get us to the end goal for this seed. As it looks like Nobly is setting up a death warp. Because if you and I didn't notice, but chat did notice, Nobly had the portal right outside the safety door, and he's trying to preserve that at this point.
I'm not sure if that's worth, especially that they still have to clear Swamp Palace.
But here's the thing. If he's going to grab this Turtle Rock Small, or rather, if he's going to go grab this cape, he's going to lose the portal. So the next question is where is the other Turtle Rock Small key? Could we find it here in Misery Mire? It was ether to get inside.
But like, even if you save your portal, you still have to come back down and up because you have to clear Swamp Palace.
Yeah, so the only time you'd ever want to do that is before you go back into Swamp Palace, but, you know, you'd like to kind of set things up so you're only going back up the mountain one more time.
Fortunately, like, since they're still on Green Veil, like, setting up Death Warp and Ice Painful as you want them, I can get them in running the regular randomizer when you, at some point, especially in the late game, have, like, Red Mail, 16 Hearts, Green Mail and the Murder Bird are gonna be enough.
Although Nobly is heading right straight to Vitreous, not opening up any chest on the way, but does have to be careful. The Rehearts is not a great amount of hearts to be working with at this point. And for the longest time, Kermit has had Tempered Sword, while Nobly only picked up his Master Sword when he was going into the Tower of Hera. Where was that third sword that Kermit picked up?
There was a sword in Hyrule Castle, if I remember right, in the boomerang chest.
Okay, so that's right. Kermit did go through Hyrule Castle in order to pick that up. So Kermit's going to have a stronger advantage when it comes time for this Vitreous fight. With that magic cave, you're just going to be able to activate that. You could spam the B button as much as you want, or you can just try to do the dashing through the eyes. Either strategy kind of works here. Or you can, well, you don't really want to do NMG strats, because when you have a maximum of 8 hearts, you really don't have a lot of time to stand in the goo.
I mean, yeah, the goo, regardless of the mail, still deals 100 damage, so you don't really want to damage. One mistake and you get hit by an eyeball and you're dead.
Alright, let's see how Nobly treats this. And so it looks like he's going to try to do some slashing with the Cane of Burna. Now, the thing with the Cane of Burna is it continues to deplete even when you're swinging the sword. It's not like the Magic Cave where there's a timeout while you're swinging the sword. So he's out of time now. Just trying to stay safe at this point. But this fight's going to be a lot faster for Kermit. Ooh.
It has to be very careful right now.
My goodness, Nobly with all of these clenchers!
Has 18 arrows. You could use a few on the eyeballs to finish.
Wow. 8 wood arrows now. He's got to watch out. There's a lightning attack, but this is going to be it for Nobly. That is 3 butt-clenching fights here for Nobly. Let's get a GG for him.
No cannons are a bit key inside. But still wondering where that one is. Could still be a nice bonus.
But as Chad is pointing out, he did not get a Turtle Rock Small, but he is going back in. As this is to set up a death.
The Murder Bird actually does more damage. Like, he's just down there and he deals 3 heart of damage on green mail.
At this point, it's just better if you just tug a myrtledactyl. But there's the fight for Kermit. A whole lot faster for Kermit. Remained with 4 hearts, just used the magic cape. And he, now with a commanding crystal lead. 1 crystal remains, but we have yet to find where Ganon's Tower Big is. I'm starting to wonder if it's going to be in Ganon's Tower.
Nobody, like, sure he went for that cane, but there was also that Ganon's Tower small key. That might be the reason why she went to the bowl outside of the pod.
We already know there's nothing inside of Swamp Palace because Kermit's already done that. This is the final crystal for BBB Kermit. As nobody goes downstairs, Kermit's about to go downstairs himself. Will Nobly try to do Icebreaker?
They're an icebreaker, but I'm not sure if he hit the switch or not.
He did not.
Without key, you're not going to be able to reach goals there.
Didn't get on his first attempt here. Oh, Kermit is just going to go straight. He is not bothering with these chests. Nobly didn't get it this time either. I think he's just getting a little outside here. And maybe he's got it this time. No. There he goes. Ice breaks his way, opens up the chest. Probably out of force of habit at that point for the 20 rupees. He is going to have to pick up this key inside of this room. Otherwise, he can't get back downstairs. Unless there's a vanilla small key downstairs, but not likely in this mode.
Not sure, like, maybe they're looking for tier small. At this point, like, they won't have enough magic for goals. I mean, they're not gonna get to goals there because they didn't hit the switch.
Which means they're gonna have to take the long way around. BBB Kermit facing off against the cold stair. Down here goes the ice. And Kermit loses control and gets him out of the corner. Looks like he's going to be fine, I believe. Yep, there we go. But that is going to do it for Kermit. It's time for him to go get into Ganon's Tower. But what do we got? Oh dear. I didn't even realize we never got the Ice Palace Big Key.
Realizing the mistake right now, but they have to leave the town because there's nothing you can do from here without the big key. So, Ganon's Tower Big Key at this point is Ganon's Tower. They didn't get any keys so far, so I'm guessing that Big Key is gonna be early, like Hope Room or the staff levels. Without a key, I mean, you need a key to go further into the dungeon. You don't necessarily need a lot of keys. Like, if you can get the one under the pot, you can go all the way to Compass Room on the right and get another one, so you can climb with it. And on the left side, you would need at least one, maybe two, no, at least one, in order to be able to get it. If it's not in map chest, the firebar room, you only need one to get to render room, because that's the one on the way under the pot. Unfortunately, like Ganon's Tower big key game is not gonna be very relevant, because they're just gonna open the chest that has the big key, I guess.
And unfortunately, what we've seen is Nobly is going to be throwing in the towel. Now, as we pointed out at the very beginning of this run, the runners as well as the pilots do have access to the restream this week, and it's also on no delay. So as a result, Nobly knows where Kermit is, knows that he's heading to Ganon's Tower, and probably figures at this point, I've just ended up going through Ice Palace and had a real rough go.
What a small key on the torch, so Kermit's gonna be fine. I'm guessing it's in South's room. Oh, also Butter Sword? Okay.
Well, I would say more, but I think we just found it here. It was in number 2, for those of you that were guessing along for the GT Big Key guessing game that Saber UX, our tracker, implemented for this round. Enjoy those points. Thank you very much for playing. It is actually number 2, Nustra, because that was the torch, and then down the bottom left where the big key was.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
The other chest, okay, the top left chest had the Butter Sword, and the top right chest had a heart container that they grabbed for safety.
Yeah, nice safety right there, grab for Kermit. As we pointed out, Nobly has thrown in the towel. Go ahead and see if you want to talk, because I would really love to talk about the... Really would love to talk to the Nobly about some of those clenching fights that he had.
So the pilots for this race, for Hime was Ravis, so Ravis was piloting Kermit, and for Nobly was Ang.
Kermit already here, heading through the gauntlet.
So I'm accessing the spoiler log right now. Relevant items said silver arrows. They are in Ganon's Tower as well, in Randomizer room, so we're not gonna grab them.
It seems like all of our pendant dungeons were unnecessary except for Thieves Town.
Yeah, Thieves Town had the big key to Swamp and the small key to Swamp and the big key to Pot, if I remember right. But that's
That would be correct.
it's still kind of grab the they grab the big key to Desert Palace. When the big key is on your way, you don't really know if you're gonna need it or not. You kind of just tell your runner to just grab it just in case. I mean, it's literally like next to you. It was on Spec Rock, if I remember. So that's no reason not to grab it. You might need it, maybe. Like the few minutes of spoiler log is really like stressful in a sense. Like there's a lot of things you have to look for. It kind of slows down the further you get into the seed. But yeah, if there's something in the way, you just grab it, and that's why sometimes you kind of grab a lot of useless chests in the other game because like there's a lot of things that the pilot has to do. Can't really pinpoint every item.
So where was the Ice Palace big key? Because that obviously was technically required in order to beat this seed.
It was in Maya Shed.
Yes, right next to the Harris Mall. Now, one thing we also got to point out was that this was apparently a Aghanim required seed because of the fact that the flippers led to the hammer, and the flippers were over in the Palace of Darkness.
And the mates were also in Palace of Darkness, so like 2 of the required Dark World access items were actually in the Dark World. I mean, not the hammer technically. I mean, technically it was because of the flippers, but yeah, you get the drill. Oh, so that's... I was out of curiosity looking for the small key to Aga Tower. One was in Desert Palace big chest.
My goodness. The other one was attached to the mushroom. So that was a double dip required. Ice Palace. Wait.
No.
How?
Oh, wait, where was the mushroom?
We saw a mushroom in the Ice Palace. Wait a second. How is that possible? I'm going to wonder about that, but nonetheless, Kermit is about ready to face off against Ganon. 12 spins is what we need in order to beat Ganon this time around. As Nobly is trying to do mimic clip practice here.
Mushroom is the mushroom spot in Lost Woods. That's the item from the yeah. The item from the mushroom is
never mind.
Potion Shop.
Yep. I got that mixed up. Okay.
Yeah, the item from the mushroom is Potion Shop in the spoiler log.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, Kermit making his way over, trying to preserve his magic while trying to get him to the 12 spins he needs to defeat Ganon.
Totally missing the torch glitch, but yeah, they have lamp. I think they have a blue goose still.
Yeah, probably does have the safeties right there.
Oh, House Magic was in Misery Mire map chests. I don't remember which one that was. I think it's the one with the spike on the right side, next to the big chest, if I remember right.
Yeah, but if you're going right straight to Vitreous, you weren't gonna get that. And Kermit eventually gonna be finishing out this Ganon fight. Heading over here.
And get instead. Don't even need that blue goo.
There we go. But it's going to be a win here for Kermit and Team Hime, which will even out their record to 500 at 6-6 heading into week number 7 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2. Get your GGs in for Kermit, finishing with an official SRL time of 1:03:43. And Fear Agent noting that Team Hime has been doing a whole lot of practice in the course of this weekend. Let's really fast talk about that, the teammate aspect, as we welcome in Team Hime. Congratulations and GG's on your victory.
GG's.
GG's.
You have the whole team since they did a back-to-back game and we didn't do an interview for the first game. So what do you think about those seeds? How did you I know you practiced a lot for this week, so how did you get into those 2 matches?
Let the runners first.
I would have loved to have the boots before Hera in my race, but well, nice boots on Moldorm. Rest was good in my seat, I guess.
Angles didn't get invited for Link, by the way.
And we also have Nobly the Foreign in here as well.
GG's nobly.
GG's.
no.
Dear God. Angles misread the spoiler.
Yeah, we did the same in the first game. Or rather, I think in both seats.
Yeah, basically he said to me that 2 third rock keys were in Mire. I was like, what?
Ooh.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one was dump as well with Bumper Cave, but whatever.
And then when I was running around, I was thinking, Ether is required for third rock. Laser Bridge is required to get 3 keys to get there. How is 3 keys gonna be in Mire? So as I was running there, I was like, this can't be. And then he was starting to look again and like, oh, there's a one on the Bumper Cave. I was like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, with the magic cape and checkerboard.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, it's fine. We can still save this. I can go to Third Rock, pick up my Ether, and then I can make a portal and save it. And I was like, oh, I need Hookshot. I need to go to Skullwoods first, and I need to Death Orb from there. And then I went to Mire, and he said it was on the big key chest and the boss. So I went for the boss and didn't find a key, and then I Death Orb, and I was like, wait, Angles, I didn't get a small key to Third Rock.
A funny thing about the first seed actually was, I think we did both the same mistake. We misread Big Key Chest and Big Chest and Thieves Town, and that was dramatic. Because the Big Key Chest had flippers, and the Big Chest just had a Castle Tower key. But the way to the small key of Thieves Town was ridiculous.
Oh, we didn't pick up the small key in Thieves Town, first one.
Yeah, we didn't do as well, but I thought we had to, and the small key was on the desert boss and the swamp Bicky and swamp for the shovel and stuff, and there was also a mushroom on the powder spot, and yikes, what was that?
Yeah, the first seed was rough. Angles died a couple of times, I think, in the first one.
So there was in the second game there was that blue mail in Icefield Gate, and you were water walking to Hobo anyway to get that hammer. Nice Aga seed, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I did not get knowledge of any blue mail, so
That's something you can't forget sometimes, because you're looking for progression and you forget that the blue mail is so good for a runner. I can only recommend runners to ask if there's some time where, like, ask the guide where the blue mail or potential blue mail is.
Yeah, so
yeah. Go ahead.
basically, the first game, because we hadn't done it like this before, I always used the site. So when I got it on text file and I couldn't search like I normally do, I was like, what is this, Angles? What do I do? I was like, we should have done a practice in the SRL maybe. That would have been a smart idea. So basically, the first seed, it was like 10 minutes of Angle standing bomb farming and running around like a headless chicken, and me trying to figure out how to read the spoiler.
And you like told me there is a bottle in Uncle's. That's like, oh, okay, there's something on Sick Kid, so I run over there immediately.
It was
How-
crazy.
I want to talk to the pilots because
Sure.
this, of course, is the first runs we've had for week number 6. How difficult is it at the word go to look over that spoiler when your runner's trying to look for information?
It all comes down to preparation, I guess, because you need to figure out, okay, what am I gonna search for first? If you have that mindset, then it's gonna be easier. But we were just not used to how the formatted of the spoiler log would be, so.
Yeah, I thought we would like get a link to the spoiler in the internet, like the usual site. So yeah, and when you start using Control F and start searching for something, I searched 7 times for hookshot in the first seed, and all it gave me was hookshot cave, hookshot cave, hookshot. It didn't give me the hookshot. I was like, oh god, where is this hookshot? And I was scrolling up and down like, where is it?
It's unfortunate if you didn't know how the spoiler is gonna look like. I think I guided around 60 to 70 seats, I guess, since December. So we really played that mode, specifically Dragon and me.
Yeah, when we use the site, because we have been practicing spoiler, but we have used the site, which is much easier compared to using the text file.
Sure. I mean, what's
Yeah.
important, I think, is you gotta stay calm at least. You probably have to stay calm at all points as a guide, but so our strat was most likely always gonna be like, let the runner do a Houlihan room. I give him the basic information like what's Pennon, what's Green Pennon, what's 5 and 6, entrance for Turtle Rock and Meyer, so the basic stuff. What's the stun price? So he has some information in general while he's just doing the Houlihan room. And having money is always a good thing in spoiler logs. So and then you want to see like where your boots, where's your Dark World access, the basic stuff. And then you see what's around, what can I take with me, what makes sense, what can I take later, what do I actually need. And when you come to the point where your runner is going into the first or second dungeon, you get a little bit of time because he knows he's got to open the third and the fourth chest or whatever, and you can get a picture of how the seed is constructed, and then try to get into detail. Like, okay, we got to go to pod. How many pod keys do we need? All right, we just need the compass chest. So if we go bowl outside, we just need one for the boss and one to get in the back. Okay, where are my pod keys and stuff? So try to get a structure in your guidance. Is probably the thing you wanna get to, and that can only come by practicing, I guess.
Yeah, so
Obviously
basically,
not 60 seats needed. Just saying. I mean, if you play a couple, you'd probably get a good picture. But go ahead.
So what we had, because we were used to the website, we had that the player runs and do 50-50 bushes while the person checks the one-shot location in CAC. Okay, so like the Ballamers and Sick Kid, Chicken Coop, and Library in race game. Then, while the player is running around in doing all other stuff in CAC, we get the time to do search for the progressive items. Basically, is what we have the theoried.
yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy trying to. I mean, there's going to be different mechanics the teams are going to use throughout this entire week. So, I'll start with Angels, and then I'll go to Ravis. What advice would you give to the pilots that are going to be in the 62 races that are still to come this week here in Spoiler Week?
It also depends on what role you will have as a pilot, because when you're comparing me and Nobly, it was that Nobly called for something for me and I give the information and he determined the route. But otherwise, just try to look what the items you need for the seed and then try to figure out the best way to route the seed.
I personally think it's absolutely necessary to know the tendencies and the basis of, it's almost say feelings of your runner, because you need to know what makes him comfortable and what not, and then weigh it to the seed, see what's giving you, what the seed is giving you, and where can you how do I put it in words? You need to know how to put him in a good mode. Yeah, exactly. Like
where can you pick up the safety, stuff like that, or is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it makes sense to dip dungeons and come back later. Like we did it in Thieves Town in the first game. We could have finished that, but you know, oops, sorry. Some boots and a better sword just makes it a little bit more comfortable. And also, what I'm recommending is you're allowed to use the opponent's stream as a tactical device, I would almost say. Like you can see if the opponent is behind and let your runner take more safeties or whatever. Like this is like Formula 1 or whatever in this case. You give the information you get from the other streamman. I think Kermit was pretty relaxed after like 40-50 minutes because the pressure went down. We were like 2 crystals ahead, and then it makes the runner like having an easy time basically. So yeah.
Yeah, I also forgot to flip the freaking crystal while doing the thing in Ice Palace. God.
Yeah, that was unfortunate when you walked up and found that surprise when you got downstairs, and that pretty much was the last straw for you at that stage. Now, I do want to talk about execution because you gave us quite a few butt-clenching fights against bosses here in the second seed, Nobly. Tell me your thoughts, especially with that Helmasar fight.
Oh, yeah, I play RMG, so I'm used to having 5 hearts on Helmasaur, and I have no idea why his RNG just shot fireball, and tail, and I was like, why? Why do you be that menace?
And then on the second fight, how in the world did you get that Canut Burner to activate in time before you took that hit to die?
Well, basically I was like, oh, I have to pull out the Burner here, and just like... Burner's activation is really fast, so as soon as you flip to it, you can put it on very quickly compared to the cape. The cape has some time management to put on, so I'm playing one at KO and stuff for practice. So I'm basically practicing a lot for one at KO and stupid seeds. So
yeah, I would say Kermit and Ravis should probably go to the German restream. They are starting to get a little anxious over there.
Yeah, I think they're like waiting 15 or whatever minutes. I think we should take a look there. Anyway, thanks for the raise
so much.
And thanks for the commentary. Yeah. Sorry that it's all the fast right now. We
got to redo this one time, Ravis. It was fun.
For sure.
Just next time, let me have a decent spoiler.
I just want to say, since we are on the main channel, so everybody can hear it, I hope when there's a season 3 potentially that we have co-op races in the playoffs as well, because that's what I find even more interesting than 5 solo races, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I really like the others.
It would be cool.
Co-op.
Like if you have 3 single race or solo races and it's not a 3-0, then get into 2 team races, and you know that sounds exciting for me. But that's just just an idea.
Yeah.
Our league commissioner is talking season 3 suggestion form at this point. So, all right, you guys go ahead and take care of the German restream. Thank you very much for joining us here. GG's to Team Hime, who swept this and even out their record of 6-6, getting ready to head into the final week the All Dungeons co-op next week in week number 7.
My favorite category. Apart from cross keys. I like cross keys, but I messed up.
It was also a little bit. I was not prepared to play today because of what happened behind the scenes. So I
Yeah, it was a lot of chess pieces that had to go into play in order to get these 2 matches in for your teams this week. All right, so we'll give the German Restream a little bit of time to go ahead and do their their set of interviews over there. Coming up next here on Speed Gaming at 4 p.m. Eastern, it is Pac-Man World 2. That tournament coming up, and we got plenty more of A Link to the Past Randomizer League matches coming up. But any final words that you want to say, Angels or Nobly, while you're here with us?
So we had kind of like a little bit of a hidden fan, I guess, because there's one team who's like, you guys need to win so that we will have a better chance to qualify. So yeah, I just want to say sorry.
Yeah, and I want to thank you all for coming in and doing the restream and commentator. It was fun, although the spoiler was a little bit crazy. We should have practiced the seeing of the text document there. To everyone else coming up in this week, see the text files and don't be a dum-dum.
Or as we call it, don't be a ding-dong.
Alright, thanks for joining us. Thanks for the race. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Also to come and like not trying to give a lot of information. So, I mean, even though we do have it, it's kind of fun to discover why you are doing those plays. It's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for the restream and for basically setting up so much stuff in so little time.
Absolutely, our pleasure, and thank you very much. GG's to both of you, and good luck to you in week number 7. Who do you guys have in week 7?
Let me check. Week 7, I think we had... It was interesting, I think.
Yeah, I remember our schedule being harder the week goes.
Let's see here. In week 7, we have major mistakes, so let's hope they make major mistakes.
Nice. All right. If you're looking for more in this upcoming Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 2, we've got a few more matches coming up on this Monday docket. Coming up at 6:30 p.m., we have Houston Baba versus Fant, that is the Missing Bowls, versus the Sexton Cannoneers, that is over on twitch.tv/speedgaming3 with a German restream on Speed Gaming Deutsch. And then later on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we have Serena Wrath versus Bum Rush Blitz. That will be over on Speed Gaming 3 at 8:30 p.m. And then we got the Clown Parade versus the 16-bit nerds, Dracaris versus Flip Heels at 9 p.m. over on Speed Gaming 5.
Second here, him is going up against Feline Paralysis next week.
Very good. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Anything you want to add? Anything you want to say, Linlin?
I'm just looking forward to this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and really tune in for those games because they're gonna be a lot of fun. That's the first part of the co-op weeks, and that's really a lot of fun. Being a player myself, I'm enjoying this.
Absolutely, it's going to be a big fun week coming up. In fact, some playoff clinching scenarios coming up over the course of this week as we go throughout this entire week, and even in some divisions, trying to figure out who is going to be on the top of the division heading into week number 7. I mean, take a look at the Hyrule Castle division with 5 teams going in with 6-4 records, tied for first.
That's a really, really close division. Really looking forward to what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks for them.
Yeah, in fact, we have 2 matches featuring 6-4 runners, 6-4 teams in that division this week. So a lot of movement going on in that division over the course of this week. So be sure to look up the schedule, do exclamation point schedule, find out when the next league match is going to be, and all that good stuff. And I'm Adirondack Rick saying thank you for joining us for Save UX doing the tracking. I'll let Lynn say the final word on this Monday afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Have a good day and a good day of Rando. There's still a lot of games. See you later.